Hi, Preston Salen here with Home Inspection Carolina, and today I wanted to talk to you about hiring a contractor. This is something that actually can create more problems than actually doing the work. Retiling and addition, thing like that. That's one thing, but choosing the person who's going to come into your personal space and be around your kids, your personal belongings, and there's a lot to it, and it's not just the price of the job that you want to consider with the estimate. You want to think about the before, during the project, and afterwards. So you don't want to just compare on price. So in choosing a contractor, there's several things you want to consider. In the beginning, one of the first things is know exactly what you want. Then you're going to, your price estimate and everything. You don't want to leave ambiguity. You don't want to come to the contractor and just sort of have an idea of what you want to do. And I'm not saying that does happen, but before you write down the contract, anybody breaks ground, any check is written, you want to have it detailed what we're going to do and what the contract's going to be. But in choosing your contractor, you want to ask friends, relatives, Facebook, social media, things like that are great. You want to make sure that the contractor has been in business for a while. They do have a local address, and check with friends and find out. Out-of-state tags is a definite red flag. Also you're going to check. Part of it is checking. The Better Business Bureau. There's some. We'll talk about that more, but I've seen complaints where they can't find the contractor. So definitely a permanent address and a good history of doing business and checking references. I would interview at least 3 contractors, even if you have one in mind that you really want to use. Definitely interview 3 and make sure that when you're looking at their estimates and what they're talking about, it's apples to apples, not oranges to oranges. So go through the details. What fixtures are you going to use? What different things. Make sure that one might be a little bit higher, but it could be a better value if you really look at it. Expect a really good contractor not to be able to start right away. If they're really good, there's going to be a waiting list for them. So don't let that put you off. It's just like going to a good restaurant. There's a reason there's a line. So yeah, expect that. You want to make sure that the contractor, now a lot of times you're going to hire, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing repairs or an addition or something like that, you're going to have one general contractor, but then he's going to hire subs, like to do the plumbing, the electrical, that sort of thing. You want to make sure that all of those contractors, you want a list of those, and you want to make sure that they're all vetted, and that they're not using day laborers. Because, like I said, this is your personal space, this is where you live, this is where your kids play. And you want to make sure they're all skilled and vetted. They should be able to give you a list of all the people that will be working in your house. And, if you want to Google them, I'm not going to tell you not to. That's probably a good idea. Choose the right contractor for the right project. I mean, you don't want a person who, did your tile work and they're good at tile work, to build a pool for you. I mean, you don't want to be the guinea pig for the first thing. You want somebody who has done this before. Talk to people who have done work, the same type of work, and you just want to make sure you're not the guinea pig. Check the licenses. Any litigation against them. Check the Better Business Bureau. Even the best of contractors can have a complaint in the Better Business Bureau, but there's a couple of things you ought to check. How many jobs, how big are they? It's kind of like book reviews. You can have, I've seen somebody with a 5-star review or something, but it's only one. Then you have one that are, look at the number of complaints versus the number of jobs, I guess is where I'm going with this, and were those complaints resolved? And then you also check reviews and make sure the review doesn't have the same last name as they do or is related in some way. Sign a detailed contract, and you want to know what will be done by a specific date. Contractors are notoriously well known for starting on time but not finishing on time. You also want to make sure that your contractor is getting the proper permits. Almost anything except very small repairs are going to require a permit. If the contractor tries to talk you out of getting a permit, that should be a red flag. And also, if they want you to get the permit, that's another red flag. Just trust me on that. Don't pay more than 10% of the job before it starts. You don't want your money to be finishing up his last job, kind of like the Bernie Madoff Ponzi contractor scheme. You don't want that. Always consider that, when you sign that contract, make sure everything's spelled out. Like I said, go through the what ifs. What if you find damage behind this wall? What if, all the contingencies. But I would have in my mind that it could cost 10 to 15% more if I decided you get into it and you're like, man, I don't like that tile. I'd rather have this tile, and it's a little more expensive, or these fixtures, or whatnot. So don't use up your whole budget on that contract. It may cost 10 to 15% more, and I'm okay with that as long as it's not something that the contractor knew all along it was going to be 10 to 15% more, and you gave you a lower price to get the job, and it's kind of a bait and switch. You don't want that. Negotiate ground rules. Like I said, this is in your personal space, your personal time. When are these guys coming? Make sure they're vetted. These are your kids. When are you leaving? Are they cleaning up everything? And I would also talk to, somebody else who's used them before, especially if they're going to be inside your house. Talk to the contractor frequently. I recommend at least every 3 days. Verify insurance coverage. Verify their subs, that they're paying their subs. If they're not paying their subs, the subs could put a lien on your house. So talk to subs. I found a great auto repair person, because I felt like I had gotten ripped off, and I was at the auto Napa, the where you buy parts and stuff, and I was talking to them about it, and they said, oh man, don't use those guys, they're terrible. Use these guys. And they put me on to this really great, so because they sell the parts and deliver the parts, like the Napas and the whatnot. So same thing here. If you talk to subs, you can find out who the good contractors are. Make sure that they're paying for the stuff they're using in your house, and you get receipts for it, because you don't want the supply house to also put a lien on your house. And like I said, make sure everybody has insurance, because somebody got hurt on the job. You don't want them to be able to sue your insurance. Don't make final payment until the job is 100% correct. I'm going to put some of these up on our website, Ask the Charlotte Inspector. But if you have any questions, you could contact us at Home Inspection Carolina at 704-542-6575. Thanks for watching.